Hello everyone, it's Ashton, aka the Outspoken Oracle, and I'm back with another tarot reading for you. Please remember that tarot readings are for entertainment purposes only. Please just think of me as your bestie, giving you a little bit of advice. As with advice from your bestie, you take some, you leave some. Please use your discernment and take only what resonates with you. Today is going to be the last day of my giveaway. So if you want to be entered into the giveaway, please comment on this video and any of the videos that I've posted since the 16th. I will pick a random video and pick a comment from that video, and I will pick a winner, but you have to be subscribed because I will be filtering by subscribers. And the prize is going to be a 1-hour Zoom tarot reading session with me, valued at $100. Okay, so before I get into this reading, I want to just give you a little background story. I had a dream, but the dream that I had was literally just a scene from a movie. There's this movie called Life Itself with Olivia Wilde, and in the scene she's talking about her thesis about the unreliable narrator. And for some reason, like, I was there while she was like going on about this thesis that she was going to be writing. I was there in the movie scene, and so she was talking about how like the unreliable narrator is like a thing that's used in literary terms or whatever. I like don't know literary stuff like that, to be completely honest, but how she was saying how the only reliable narrator is life itself, but that even with that, life itself is not reliable because of all the twists and the turns and all this other stuff involved. And so like the ultimate unreliable narrator is life. But then I got this message that actually no, life is in fact the only reliable narrator, and that the reason why it feels unreliable to some people at some points in their life is because we want to hold on to control of our life, but that life itself is the most reliable narrator, because despite all the twists and turns, if we just surrender to what life has to offer us, we will end up exactly where we're supposed to be every single time. And so that we can rely on the fact that where life intentionally leads us is where we're supposed to be, and that in fact the most unreliable narrator of our lives is us and our desire and our sense and our need for control. We are the most unreliable narrators in our lives. Anyhow, that was kind of what I received, and so I do want to pull some cards on this and see what else Spirit has for you today in regards to that message. Angels, guides, ancestors, please assist me with this reading. Please help to give me insights into the questions I seek answers to. Protecting from any negative entities that might try to interfere on this reading or give false information. Please speak truth and honesty to me through the cards, giving me insight of the highest good for everyone involved. And as always, thank you for showing up each and every day. Love you so much. The most. Love you lots. All right. Has anybody else been feeling like just like this energy shift where things just feel like very calm? Like it's like nothing's going on. It's just like, it feels like very much like you're riding, like just like bobbing up and down in a little boat in a calm harbor. I like this feeling. It's a good feeling. Just things just feel like they're kind of leveling out, like they're kind of calm, no extreme emotions. I'm loving it. All right, Spirit, what is the message you have for my collective today in regards to this little movie download that I have? Holy Spirit, what is the message that you have for my collective today, please? Thank you. What is the message you have for my collective today, please, Spirit? What is the message you have for my collective today, please? Holy Spirit, please, what is the message you have for my collective today? All right. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. So starting off with this Ten of Swords in reverse, but going back to the fact that like we are our most unreliable narrators of our lives, us humans, because our desire to control, we are the most unreliable narrator of our life. We are the most unreliable narrators of our lives because what we do within our lives by trying to control life and its situations is that we are the purveyors of our own pain. what we do will constantly cause pain to ourselves. And it's unintentional in so many ways because we get into these subconscious ways of behaving, these subconscious ways of believing about ourselves, that we inflict pain upon ourselves over and over and over and over again without even realizing it. And a lot of times we'll want to push that off on another person and say, well, it was this person that did this and that and whatever to us, but it was actually us that did that because we were the ones that made the choice to still have that person involved in our life. Every time we felt pain in our life, there was a moment in time where we could have not been involved in the scenario that would have caused us that pain. And therefore, it makes us unreliable because we allow ourselves to experience pain. And if you think about anybody who is a so-called friend, if your friend is putting you in danger, if your friend is causing you pain, they're not going to be your friend. You will consider them to be unreliable, when in fact it is you who is the most unreliable person in your life because you cause the most pain. Until you decide not to, until you decide to stop making that choice, to stop making that decision, to turn away from the love of God, of spirit, of your that your intuition holds. Until you stop turning away from love, you will be the most unreliable person in the room. And because at the end of the day, with life is all about love. The confines of life only exist in love. You were born into love and you die to love. It is not anything else but love. But we constantly, by abandoning ourselves, make an active choice to turn away from love because we are turning away from our authentic selves. And so then that's showing us that we are the ones that are unreliable to ourselves. We turn away from love and we choose not to nurture ourselves. Mind, body, spirit. We choose to turn away from nurturing ourselves by doing what is at the core level inside of us. We don't trust our intuition until we decide to. It's one of those things, it's like we're unreliable with ourselves until we decide to be reliable, right? And for a lot of people, they never get to that place. Some of us do get to the place where we decide that, hey, I'm going to be reliable to myself. But in being reliable to yourself, the paradox then there is that you just trust your intuition and you give it away to God, and you no longer defer to your own knowing because you know that your own knowing or you're not knowing, because your inner knowing is God. You stop deferring to your own thinking, right? Because your thinking is crap. Your thinking is what caused you pain to begin with. So you decide to return to love and you stop making the choice to run from love. You stop making the choice to run from your inner knowing, from your intuition, and you decide to actually nurture what's inside of you, what's been given to you by God. And that's when your life starts to turn around because you surrender to life itself, because life itself is life. Because the giver of life is God. So life itself is reliable because life itself relies on God and the love of God. You are born into love and you die to love. And love is very reliable, but some people don't know where it's at or how to find it or that it even exists because those people don't know how or where to find God. Because a lot of people don't even want to take the time to learn how to do these things. A lot of people don't want to invest in this new set of skills that's actually going to get them to where they need to be, because it seems like a big hurdle to overcome, especially those that have accomplished a lot, and they have not to say that they haven't accomplished things that are worthy of praise. They haven't accomplished things that are worthy of being like in awe of their accomplishments. However, it's the learning of this new set of skills that means tapping into your intuition and surrendering to God. And honestly, surrender is a skill within itself that is not easy. And surrendering is a skill that you have to choose to do day by day, moment by moment. And sometimes when you're learning how to do it, it is a moment by moment choice. You can't just surrender and then think that it's done, because you have to continuously surrender. And a lot of people don't want to learn how to do this because it's difficult and it creates changes in their lives that they're not ready for. But on top of that, it also seems very daunting to feel like a beginner at something when you are so well versed at so many other things in your life. And that's why a lot of people choose not to go down this path of surrender. That's why a lot of people choose to not go down this path of deferring to God truly. A lot of people claim that they surrender to God. That's BS. And we all know that. But anyhow, with this Queen of Swords, it's like you have to get to a point in your life where you take an honest look at your life and you are just honestly and brutally true and honest with yourself. And brutally, not to hurt yourself, but brutally true, because if you only scratch the surface with the reality of things, then you're going to be missing a lot of stuff that's going to show you how unreliable you have been to yourself, because you have to tear away all of the band-aids, rip off every single little band-aid and feel all the pain of ripping off that band-aid, like the old school band-aids that really would stick to your skin and you'd still have that goo around it for like 2 days later, those type of band-aids. Like, you have to rip off all the band-aids and reveal to yourselves the way that you've been causing yourself this pain. And a lot of people are not ready for that because you've been unreliable to yourself. But you have to become reliable to yourself. You have to start to get honest. That's the beginning stages. That's the beginning steps, is to start to get honest with yourself about what's what and how you've done wrong. Because it's not until you can see how you've done wrong that you can truly accept and feel what's really being offered to you when you surrender to life itself, when you surrender to God, when you surrender to love. You can't truly see what has been given and what has been offered to you until you are honest with yourself about the ways in which you have been the purveyor of your own pain, in which you realize that you have been the most unreliable narrator of your life. And in being an unreliable narrator of your life, you have chosen to push away the most reliable narrator of your life. But when you start to get honest, you can see what's actually been offered to you by the most high God, the most reliable narrator of life itself, because God is the giver of life. God is the giver of love. Y'all, I'm going to let you know straight up on this channel, I believe in God. I believe in the Most High. I believe in Christ's Spirit. And so if I bring that up and that makes you uncomfortable, that is totally okay. But that's where my beliefs are. Yes, I read tarot, but yes, I am a believer in God. I know where my gifts come from, and this is not of me. Okay, so I'm just going to put that out there. Yeah, until you get to the point where you can fully surrender and see what's being offered to you, you will not feel fully victorious in life. Life will, with the Six of Wands in reverse, life is not going to feel as if you can accomplish a lot, but you won't feel like you're accomplishing much. It's like all of the successes you're still going to want to chase more and more and more, because it's going to feel like something is missing. You won't feel as if you're being victorious until you start to surrender to life itself. And a lot of people keep on trying to chase certain things, and they realize that, like, no, this still makes me feel numb inside. No, this is not fulfilling. And then you wonder, well, why is life so unfair? Because here's the thing, there are people, and a lot of people, like, when you don't have money, you're like, oh, it's unfair that so-and-so has this, that, whatever, they don't have money. But there are people that have a lot of money that still feel like life isn't fair, that still feels like they can't catch a break, that still feels as if they have been, given the wrong lot in life. Because and some people with money even envy people that have less money, because they feel like the responsibility isn't there. They feel like the eyes aren't on them as much, to where they could be more of themselves. There are benefits to all aspects of life that we need to understand. And while some things are fair, other things aren't fair. Life is only fair when you are living in alignment, because you are getting exactly everything that is supposed to happen to you, for you, with you, when you are living in alignment with your true, authentic self, with your soul, with your God. Okay? Um, with the Seven of Cups in reverse, until you stop trying to figure out which option in life is going to make, like, balance out the scales will not be balanced out. There are no options beyond just trusting your own inner self, trusting your intuition, communing with God, having God lead your way, surrendering to life. Only then will the scales of justice be balanced out in your favor. Is when you stop entertaining the options that you think are going to give you what you need. Because, like I said before, things come down to the fact that people just want to control their lives. And this is what makes us unreliable narrators of our lives, is the sense of control is never going to get us to where we want to be. And in fact, it's going to cause us a lot of pain along the path. There needs to come a point in time with this hangman where you decide to pause and reflect and have a perspective shift and a change on what it is that you're doing and how are you perceiving life. Because ultimately, you're not doing much of anything of importance when you are not serving God, when you are not trusting, when you're not choosing love. And it's like you're stuck. You might have done a lot in your life, but you're also stuck from moving down the important path, the path that is rarely chosen, until you decide to have a perspective change. Only then can you have access to this path that's going to actually lead you to this feeling of love, of joy, of abundance. But that it requires complete surrender to life, because life is the most reliable narrator of your life. You cannot be trusted with your life unless you are 110% following your intuition all the time. And I would like to think that I'm 110% following my intuition all the time. I'm not quite there yet. I think that, and I might be underestimating myself, I might be at like 85%. I'm probably closer to 96%, to be completely honest. But like, I want to make myself feel as if there's room for improvement. But like, until you are trusting your intuition at all times in all things, then you still have room to improve, and you are not going to be fully on the path. Actually, no, I think I am on 96%, because I do feel like I'm on the path. I just feel like the path hasn't fully blossomed open to me yet, to this great, beautiful meadow. And so, but what a lot of people don't realize, what's not working for a lot of people, is the need. This Three of Cups keeps on coming up in my readings. This is you, your spirit team, God. What doesn't work for a lot of people is this need to surrender to God, the need to ask for help from your spirit team, the need to fully understand that communing with God, with spirit, is what is most important to get you on the path of life that is reliable, that leads you to your joy, that leads you to what you want to have. This is the only way, and a lot of people don't want to have to defer to this and surrender to this, because then they have to then give up their power. But at the same time, it's like this control and this power that you have, was it really control and power, or are you feeling a lot of anxiety? It really is a good feeling. It's a good feeling when you aren't feeling anxious about what decisions to make, because you know that things will be revealed to you. I'm not even kidding. The second that I like really started to surrender, I was like, oh, like I'm not stressed about this whole situation. You know, I moved to a completely different state without having a job lined up, without having a place to live. I had a job within 3 days of moving, and then I had a place lined up by the end of the week, a place to live, and I'm happy. And I'm living in a neighborhood that I love, and I'm living in a state that I love, and I'm incredibly happy with my decision to pivot my life completely and just buy a one-way ticket and trust my instincts and do what God was leading me to do, because ultimately I wouldn't be where I'm at. And I had to stop being in my head and thinking that my thoughts could control what I was doing, that I could think my way through any situation that didn't make sense to me. And instead, I turned to God and I turned to my spirit team and I surrendered to them and let them show me the way, instead of relying on my unreliable mind and my unreliable thoughts to then make actions. Because I'm an overthinker, and that's what I was doing with so much of my life, was overthinking what's next, what do I need to do, this, that, whatever. When in actuality, it's just like, sit back and just like let us show you what's next. Trust us, talk to us, trust us, and like let's have a good time. And so I recognize that now there's a constant pivot in life. And yes, yet to some people who like to be in control, constantly pivoting feels unreliable, but constantly pivoting keeps things interesting. And also, when you're constantly pivoting in this stage of the game where I'm at, you don't have to worry about what's next, because what's next is always going to be good for you. What will work the best for you with Seven of Wands in reverse is complete and utter surrender. And it feels like a lot, and people fight it so hard. People fight tooth and nail not to surrender to God and what God has to offer you. But I guarantee you, I promise you, what God is offering you is so much better than what you think that you have for your life. And the thing of it is that you get to still have what you want, but what you want ends up being like what you were offered, what you think you want and what you were offered is just so much better. And sometimes it is exactly what it is that you want, you will get, but it'll come to you at a time where it will stay with you, because you will be in alignment with what you have received. Because have you ever noticed that some people receive things and just as quickly as they receive things, they've let things go? It's because they couldn't keep that resonance of alignment for what it is that they had tried to get, right? What they desired. And so when you surrender, you allowed yourself to get to a place of being completely in alignment with who you are, the truth of who you are. So then when you receive your desires, you get to keep them. There's not going to be any fear of them going away. You are going to be so bright and shiny and magnetic that you get to keep all these desires that are being brought to you by God. But you have to surrender completely to God in order to shine your brightest and receive what it is that's meant for you. You, God, and your spirit team are co-creating life together. But you have to understand that the way that you co-create your life with God is you have your desires and you give them up to God. And then when God says move, you move. If you are not clear about things, you ask for help from your spirit team and say, hey, I need help with this situation. And they'll jump into action and help you. But know that you don't need to make any moves until God says move. And I know that sounds silly to people that haven't gotten to that place, but I am telling you, complete and utter surrender then puts you in this place where you're on your throne in your Queen of Wands energy, being magnetic AF, because you are in alignment with yourself. It's too many. Thank you, Spirit. What you need to know is that your life doesn't have to be an inspiration to anybody except for yourself. This Ace of Wands showed up upside down, but it really is supposed to be right side up. But it showed up upside down just to let you know that your life does not need to be an inspiration to anybody but yourself. Your life does not need to be some wow factor to anybody except for yourself. But what I am going to tell you, though, is that when you surrender to what God is trying to turn your life into, you will automatically become an inspiration to other people. You will automatically inspire people to choose to do life differently. You will automatically just be inspirational in your words and your actions. But you need to understand that your life doesn't have to be inspirational to anybody. Nobody needs to be impressed with you and how you are living your life. And if you surrender to that idea, then life will go exactly as it's supposed to be in alignment with who you are. But by then doing that, 'cause it's all very paradoxical. Upon doing that, then you will become an inspiration. But you have to surrender and you have to trust God and you have to lean on your spirit team. With this Four of Pentacles, it's all about letting go about what it is that you are holding on to. Like, what are you holding on to so tightly right now that's not allowing you to receive? You cannot receive something if you're holding on to something. What are you holding on to so tightly right now that you need to let go of that's not allowing you to receive? Because I guarantee it's that thing that you're holding on to, that version of yourself, those people in your life that are keeping you from living the most abundant life. You are causing pain to yourself by holding on to something so tightly. Like if I had with this stone, if I were to hold on to it too tight, squeeze it tightly, it's going to hurt me. It's going to hurt me because it's got these sharp edges. If I hold on to it, squeeze on it too tight because I'm afraid of leaving my hand, it's going to eventually hurt me. And that's what you're doing right now. And you need to release the things that you are holding on so tightly because they will eventually hurt you if they haven't hurt you already. But in actuality, it's you hurting yourself because you're the one that's holding on to it. It's you who is the most unreliable narrator of your life. You're causing yourself the pain by holding on to something that you need to release at this time. You don't need to add any more effort or any more work into the things that you've been holding on to that are not helping you. It's time to release them. It's time to put that project aside. And here's the thing with this Eight of Pentacles, it's like the Eight of Pentacles to me is like, okay, you're working on a project and then it's like, okay, well, I've done enough on this project right now. I'm going to put it to the side, but it's still going to be there. So whatever it is that you need to release, it's not like it's going anywhere. It's just like you don't need to put your efforts in that place for right now. It'll come back. Okay, it's something that's still going to be there in the back of your closet that you can pick up at any time. But right now, it's not serving you. And so you need to let it go. Because there's no balance there. It's causing an imbalance in your life by holding on to what you're holding on to. You need to release it. Because you're trying to control the situation by keeping this thing, this person, whatever it is. And it's keeping you from love. It's keeping you from God. It's keeping you from really trusting your intuition. It's keeping you from going to the place that you need to go in order to actually experience full and true joy. You need to let life itself be the narrator of your life. Life is God. Love is God. Life needs to narrate your life. You are an unreliable narrator because your decisions and your choices cause you pain. Let go of the things that are no longer serving you, that are causing you an imbalance in your life. Surrender at this time to God. God's telling me to end this message with a prayer. And so I'm going to. And like I said before, I'm all about God and I'm about Jesus. So if you're not okay with that, then I may not be the reader for you. But God's telling me to end this message with a prayer. And so that's what I'm going to do. Father God, thank you so much for allowing me this time to commune with my collective and anybody who is watching this video at this time. I do appreciate the words that you spoke through me so that I could get this message out to the collective. Lord, I pray that this message really settles into the minds and the hearts of those that listened and that they can really find it within them to surrender day by day, moment by moment, second by second, so that they can understand what it really feels like to be in your presence, so they can really understand what it's like to get rid of the stress and the anxiety that happens when they try to control their lives, when they try to control what is happening around them. Help those that are here listening to this understand what true joy means and understand that you have the keys to their true joy in their life, but that all it takes is surrender. Help them see clearly, abundantly clearly, the ways in which they have hurt themselves in their own life so that they can see that they need to not rely on themselves in their life moving forward, to where they can trust their intuition, to where they can trust you and where you're leading them, even if it feels counterintuitive, Lord. Help them to see clearly the ways in which their desire for control has actually caused them more pain. Help them right now to shed light on the pain that they have caused themselves, Lord, so that they can realize that I am an unreliable narrator of my life and I need to turn to God so that I can actually experience the joy that life has to offer me at this time, Lord. Lord, I thank you once again for allowing me to be a beacon of light for all that listen. I pray that this message really gets across to those that need to have this message, and that this message will go further and further along to those that need to receive it, and that those that at this time will receive it and that will surrender to you will then be able to be that beacon of light themselves to show people what surrender can really truly do in a person's life. Lord, I'm so grateful for you. I'm so, so grateful for you. Thank you for showing up each and every day and loving us so, so abundantly and amazingly. Thank you. Thank you for showing me the art of surrender. And I thank you in advance for showing those that are listening the art of surrender as well. I pray all this in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. All right, y'all. Thank you for rocking with me today. Again, today is going to be the last day of the giveaway. I think I'm going to pull the winner on the 2nd just to give it like a full 24 hours and then some. I'm going to pull the winner on the 2nd, but if you want to be involved in the giveaway, go ahead and be subscribed and comment. On that note, yeah, this is your message for today. Please never forget just how divine you are.